Welcome back to You Be the Judge. Our guest today, Senator Arlen Specter. And Senator, before the break, we were talking about the tough vote that you made on the stimulus package, alienating yourself from a number of your Republican colleagues. And that vote proved to be right. I mean, as I remember, we lost about 700,000+ jobs immediately before that stimulus vote was taken. And what was the number at the last?
Last month we gained 162,000 jobs, brought $26 million to Pennsylvania, $26 billion. $1 billion for the highways, put a lot of people to work on the infrastructure, on mass transit. Had not we had the stimulus, a lot of teachers and firemen and police would have been laid off. There wouldn't have been money for Medicaid or unemployment compensation.
I'm a former school director, and I can tell you that when I see states today that are facing the problems they are, I say thank goodness that we had a stimulus package, and I think the public doesn't appreciate the grave danger that we were in.
Well, people may quarrel with certain aspects about the stimulus, Todd, but now there's general agreement that had there not been a stimulus, we would have had a 1929 depression. And it would have gone beyond the United States. It would have really been cataclysmic. It really saved the country.
So we talked a little earlier about the selection of a new Supreme Court justice, but you served on the Judiciary Committee with another Scrantonian. We used to call him the third senator from Pennsylvania, Vice President Biden. And I know, having had Vice President Biden on the show, one of his proudest accomplishments was the Violence Against Women Act that you helped shepherd through.
We did that together. It was the Biden-Specter bill. Joe and I co-sponsored a lot of legislation. We took the train together for the better part of 3 decades until recently he became highfalutin, Todd. He now lives in the Vice President's mansion.
Well, you're going to bring him home to Scranton on April 23rd, I understand.
Well, he's been a tremendous help to me in the campaign, and he's coming home to reclaim his title as the third senator from Pennsylvania. You know, he still votes in the Senate. He gets to break the vote, so he's still in the Senate.
I'm just
he's coming in for a fundraiser, political event on Friday the 23rd.
Are you going to keep him away from Frinos and that great spaghetti sauce that Russell has up in his restaurant?
No, I'm going to expose him to all of the interesting vices limited to food.
Senator, your campaign, you're here in Washington today, but you enjoy the opportunity to travel around the state, do you not?
Todd, I visit almost every county, almost every year. Andy Wallace, who's really more of a deputy senator, has it pegged to 283 visits to northeastern Pennsylvania. And I've got a tough campaign now. Polls look pretty good, but you never can take anything for certain. My opponent has a lot of money, more than $5 million, enough to buy a lot of negative TV ads. Todd, in my approach to campaigning, there are only 2 ways to run: scared or unopposed. And since I have an opposition, I'm running full toes, running scared.
Well, I can tell you this, that in northeastern Pennsylvania, Andy Wallace tells people that you're the assistant senator.
Well, he's elevated my status.
He's been with you a long time and has done some great things for an awful lot of the people.
He's been with me for 28 years. And he serves the people. He's there all the time. When Andy sees a problem, he tackles it. And usually he can solve it. But if he can't solve it, I'm on the phone. And we get it done. There have been floods when I've been on the scene before the rain stopped. We've had problems with Toby Hanna maintaining that largest employer in northeastern Pennsylvania. We're working on the Scranton to New York Railroad, gotten a fair amount of funding, and it's going to happen. Another Wall Street West, I-81 we're working on. When there's a problem, we're there.
You know, I was at a breakfast meeting with our good friend, former District Attorney Paul Mazzoni, and I was touched by Paul's question to you, will this happen in our lifetime? Because I came down from Philadelphia on the train today. There is nothing that the people in Scranton want more, I don't think, from the government than that rail line to New York.
Well, Todd, it's gone
so
through
many.
a lot of environmental clearances. You talk about Paul Mazzoni. Did you know that he first visited my office when I was elected DA in 1967. He was the first assistant at that time for Lackawanna County, and I then campaigned for Paul when he ran for DA and later when he ran for judge. He and I have been friends for a long time.
Paul's a wonderful guy.
He sure is.
I ran for district attorney in 1981, and his dad Angelo took me through so many of the neighborhoods
Sure.
in Jessup and the west side of Carbondale, and of course his brother Bob now is a common pleas judge, and just a terrific
Yep.
family.
Yep.
They really are. We have a judge up in the Middle District of Pennsylvania that you helped nominate for the Third Circuit Court of Appeals, Judge Vanaski. How's that coming?
Judge Vanaski is going to be confirmed. I signed what we call the cloture petition yesterday. And Senator Reid, the majority leader, we've had obstructionism by the Republicans. He's a superb judge. No reason at all for him not to sail right through, but they're delaying it. We go through cloture, have to use up 30 hours, slowing down the whole process. And then in the past, when they've obstructed, judges have been confirmed unanimously. I predict Judge Vanaski will be confirmed to the Third Circuit unanimously. And right now, the wheels are in motion to get it done. We're going to cut off debate, force a vote, confirm him.
Having appeared in front of Judge Vanaski a number of times, I don't think there's a more thoughtful, hardworking jurist anywhere in the federal district court system.
He's terrific. And Senator Casey and I were very pleased to recommend him for the Court of Appeals. I had recommended him years ago for the district court, and he's terrific.
Yeah. When we come back, I'd like to share with us a little bit about the problems the institution of the Senate faces now as a result of what appears to be really polarization that not only in the Senate, unfortunately, it's in our society. So stay tuned to You Be the Judge. When we come back, we're going to talk to Senator Specter a little bit about the institution of the Senate.